at it again as we continue to bring you the highlights of the Tobago Heritage Festival 2022. Of course, one of the biggest annual events on the island's calendar. Last week we came to you from Charlottesville's Natural Treasures Day. This week we're here in the scenic northern village of Mariah for the colorful Mariah Old Time Wedding. Now this festival is one of the most talked about festivals in the world. It draws people from near and far, and this year it's no different. The Tobago Heritage Festival was created to preserve the cultural traditions of Tobago. So today you'll have a taste of what this year's festivities are all about. So sit back, of course relax and enjoy the next half hour with us. I'm Davia Chambers and Let's Talk Tobago starts right now. A new Heritage Calypso Monarch is crowned. Find out who. Do you know how to dance the reel and jig and bushback? Well, you'll see the steps as we highlight the Mariah Old Time Wedding. The Tobago Heritage Festival's Junior Heritage is back. We have much more to come when Let's Talk Tobago returns, so stay with us.
Welcome to the 53rd General Assembly of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union from August 15th to 17th at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort in beautiful Tobago. This year's theme, Media and Information Literacy. Tobago is a smaller sister in the twin island republic of Trinidad and Tobago, nestled in the heart of the Southern Caribbean. Enjoy 116 square miles of historical sites and award-winning eco-friendly land and marine spaces, including the magical Nylon Pool. And you're just a ferry away from a Trinidad adventure. Our warm hospitality, rich cuisine, and unique traditions will inspire you to extend your stay. Tranquil Tobago is where the Caribbean connects for the 53rd CBU Assembly. To register and enjoy discounts on Caribbean airline flights, visit www.caribbroadcastunion.org. Come and experience beyond ordinary.
So we kick things off with the Tobago Heritage Calypso Monarch, which took place at the Shore Park Complex on Friday night. Calypsonians got a chance to vie for the title in front of a live audience using their original lyrics. Let's take a look.
The Tobago Heritage Festival 2022 could not be complete without the Calypso Monarch. This feature is dedicated to celebrating a musical art form that reflects our national cultural identity. The battle for the title drew patrons from far and wide, with 11 contestants in the Calypso Monarch category and 4 contestants in the extempo category.
Reignite the flames of our heritage. Let's reignite the flames. We gonna traditions. The way we live can go on existing simply because. So rejoice in chorus one voice in our ancestry, preserving their legacy. Mortar pestle, a calabash, papa boa, the spirit lash, 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 hey!
That's the Heritage Calypso Monarch for 2022, Shamika Dinoon, performing her rendition, Reignite the Flames. Dinoon won $30,000, scoring 412 points, giving her her first Tobago Heritage Calypso Monarch title. Taking the second position and $20,000 was Giselle Fraser Washington, or Gigi. She scored 409 points with her rendition, Reflect, Rebirth, Rejoice.
When they call and we to reflect, you're getting the rebirth that you expect. Cause all our we got join with you, yes. All our we got sign with you.
And Caston Cupid got the nod from the judges for third place with 396 points. He took home $15,000 with his piece, Preserve the Heritage.
You can't have a heritage festival with no heritage.
Heritage.
Just so a village can raise a child if there is no village.
If there is no village,
The history of Congo Hill, see it as a privilege. Find the courage to preserve. We must reflect.
The extempo category was a crowd pleaser. Samuel Morris, or Ringo, walked away with the winner and 5
They say old age it has no remedy, but I don't feel they making sense to me, cause it has things to strengthen you up. When you come out here on the block, to tell you the truth, we have we back row. A good green figure out here, boy, you know. So if they feel the old age thing stopping this man, tell them with old age, I'm still a champion.
I'm Kian Walker Hazel for Let's Talk Tobago.
The Junior Heritage Exhibition was engaging and interactive as young people came out in their numbers at the Shaw Park complex to participate in jewelry making and more. The inaugural Little Miss Heritage 2022 was also a hit. We have all the highlights in this report. Have a look.
Designed as a means of preserving Tobago's cultural legacy, the Junior Heritage event focused on training and intergenerational transference of knowledge of local traditions to youth on the island. The young enthusiasts were exposed to a science fair, cooking traditions, jewelry and mask making, handicraft, folk stories, music and dance facilitated by the Department of Culture. Participants were even ingeniously engaged in recycling, purpose to exhibit wonderfully designed gowns for the afternoon's extravaganza and pageant show. Secretary of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation, Councillor Tashia Boris, brought greetings on behalf of her division.
I believe that the future of our culture rests with our young children. So I'm looking forward to seeing you dance. I'm looking forward to seeing you act. I'm looking forward to seeing you play your instruments. But more importantly, I'm looking forward to see you have fun.
Following a cultural interlude of dancing sailors came the inspection of gowns by the esteemed judges. After scores were tallied, it was time to announce the winners. First were the special prizes. Taking home Best Historical Piece and Best Environmentally Friendly Gown categories was the Signal Hill Police Youth Club. Winning the Most Creative Appeal category was the Mason Hall Police Youth Club. Placing third overall was the Zante Dance Company. Coming second was the Ebenezer Methodist Primary School. And taking the 2022 Little Miss Heritage crown was a total of 458 points was the Mason Hall Police Youth Club, represented by 6-year-old Kershal Andrews, wearing a Sharon Phillips creation titled Oshun, a tribute to our waters. I'm Josanne Brassi for Let's Talk Tobago.
We are here in Mariah at one of the most popular events of the Tobago Heritage Festival, where you can learn how to dance the reel and jig and the brushback. Of course, through the wedding reenactment tradition of the 18th century, the Mariah Old Time Wedding. Take a look now at some of the day's activities.
For we boy.
So we are here at the Mariah Old Time Wedding, of course a part of the Tobago Heritage Festival, and I am here with Brian Elder. He's also known as the Farine Man. So ladies and gentlemen, when you need Farine, this is the man to check. He has also told me that it's his first time coming to the Mariah Old Time Wedding. So tell me, what brought you out this year?
Well, firstly is that all the shows were free. So I decided I'll take a chance and go to all the shows. Well, I know Mariah was always free, but I still may come up here today and enjoy the festivities and see how the wedding go.
Tell us, how many years now have you been experiencing the Mariah Old Time Wedding?
I'm always supporting and coming out to dance because I love to dance.
So is the dancing really brings you out every year?
Every year.
So one thing you are certain to see if you visit any Tobago Heritage Festival is a beautiful woman decked up in some of the most amazing African prints. So I'm going to ask this beautiful patron to introduce herself to the viewers firstly.
Hi, I am Isabel from Mariah.
Okay, Isabel, tell me, is it your first time coming to the Mariah Old Time Wedding?
No, it is not. I am from Mariah, so Mariah Old Time Wedding is something traditional, it's natural, and I always, even though I'm not living in the Mariah area anymore, every time this occasion presents itself, I come back home to participate and to witness and to ensure that my daughter know what her heritage is all about. So Mariah Heritage is the place to be.
So I am here with the Vice Chairman of the Mariah Heritage Group, Miss Crystal Solomon, who will firstly tell us about this year's production at the Mariah Old Time Wedding.
This year we are depicting Remember When. So, you know, we're remembering things that happened in the village with various people, and we'll talk about certain stalwarts that passed away.
Tell me, what is the secret to making the Mariah Old Time Wedding so special? It may not be a secret after this because I want you to share it with us.
We maintain tradition. We are able to pass on things that our parents and foreparents used to do, experiences they had, and you know, so we can teach our young ones. It's no secret, as you said. So yeah, it's basically maintaining our traditions. We have a lot more village participation. The wedding has grown over the years from what it used to be. And also, apart from the village participation, a lot of young people participating. So yeah, attracting the young minds.
All right, well, thank you so much, Crystal, and continue to keep our traditions alive.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, the Mariah Old Time Wedding of the Tobago Heritage Festival attracts scores of patrons from near and far. And the people from near, like this man, they don't miss a Mariah Old Time Wedding. Yes, the villagers support their production each year. Tell me, what keeps you coming back? And why do you continue to support the Tobago Heritage Festival?
We do something that people will learn, the heritage, the culture of our parents. You understand? Heritage is not only to laugh and to talk, but to learn of the past. And if you know about the past, you will know how far you are going in the future.
Correct. Now, what is your favorite aspect of the Mariah Old Time Wedding? That's the last question.
The brush back.
The brush back. Show us the brush back now.
Oh.
Go on, you do it.
Our music.
As the production of the Mariah Old Time Wedding continues, we spotted the area representative of Mariah Mason Hall and Secretary of the Division of Settlements, Public Utilities and Rural Development, Assemblyman Ian Pollard. Now, Assemblyman Pollard, it is your first Mariah Old Time Wedding as area representative. How are you feeling?
Extremely proud of production. And I wanted the rest of Tobago and the rest of the world know the best production over the heritage season came from Mariah Mason Hall.
All right, and what do you enjoy most about the Mariah Old Time Wedding?
To see the young ones learning the brushback and stuff like that, to know that it's been passed on from generation to generation. It really touched my heart. It was really, really nice.
Nice. Well, do enjoy the remainder of the event, Assemblyman Pollard, and thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
The Pembroke Salaka Feast is on the other side of the break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Come, there we go to Tobago, that paradise, Bombay, Robinson Crusoe, and it is said it's the land of tomorrow. Mrs. Margaret say, come to Tobago for holiday. Now the whole world say, come to Tobago for holiday.
Now we take you to where some refer to as the cultural capital of Tobago, of course Pembroke, for the highly talked about Pembroke Salaka Feast. Come along with us.
There is a time for everything.
Yes!
A time to scatter stone and a time to gather stone.
Yes.
A time to embrace and a time to turn away. A time to search and a time to quit searching.
The Pembroke Salaka Feast recreates the annual Thanksgiving festival in celebration of African ancestors for their guidance and favor granted during the past year. The Pembroke Salaka Feast began as usual with the early morning ritual, where the ancestors are summoned with the sprinkling of rum and sweet water, the blowing of conch shells, and the sweeping of the sacred ground. It ended with a stage production which depicted the feast through storytelling. The story this year spoke of the 6 cultural yards of Pembroke. The yards are the places where the ancestors dwell.
A yard is 3 feet. A yard is a sacred place.
Yes.
A yard is a place of freedom.
Freedom!
It was truly a celebration of the ancestors, as further highlighted through energetic African dancing and singing aimed at reigniting the flames of our legacy. The Pembroke Salaka Feast stage production was held at the Pembroke Heritage Park.
Lake Coteau's folk tales and superstitions was another highlight event over the past week here in Tobago as we celebrated the Tobago Heritage Festival. This year's production was themed, It Takes 3 to Tangle. May the best one win. Here's more.
The Lake Coteau folktales and superstitions was a mixture of drama, folk songs, lighting of candles, burning of incense, and flashing of superstitious characters. The evening stage production, which attracted many patrons, began with the ancestral call and procession of drummers. How far will you go to keep the one you love? That's the question the villagers sought to bring to life in their stage production. This year's production was titled, It Takes 3 to Tangle. May the best one win.
I didn't want to live this kind of life. I want to be the wife of one husband. Not a husband to many wives.
It's square up there with next woman here?
Me not square you up. Me not square you up at all. Just come out of my yard.
You ain't giving no planting?
Come out of my yard.
Darwin send me for the planting, eh?
Rosie, me say come out of my yard.
You see this embarrassment here before people are left to see me and embarrassed from you? Me gone.
Take that one there. Take that one there alone. That one there alone you could take. Out of your place and fat.
And it was a non-stop drama, comedy, deceit, and suspense.
You know that I'm the only woman who does do everything good for you.
Everything good.
So go on. You know you go for bush and you have to make money for me because you know me just have to get the most.
That's right. And you have to make sure that your goat and them get good care. For get your good
goat milk.
Goat milk.
Right.
And I want to share all my love.
Lass, you know I would never do anything like that. He come to look for his son. If you notice, he didn't come from in the house or under the house. He come from the side. I would never do that to you. You know I love you.
Maggie, I don't do away all things, but I would have still over.
Good morning, Uncle Daddy.
Hey.
That is your father, what Uncle Daddy you're talking about. He pick up this stupidness down the road where they're calling mommy, auntie, uncle, daddy, all kind of stupidness.
All right, Maggie, don't make noise.
Well, Pa, I see you up by Miss Maggie.
What?
I saw you with
You
my
see me by
four
Maggie?
eyes. And mothers always tell me when I walk in the road and I see things just to come home straight and tell she. So about the shoe, Pa.
All right, let me give you the $10 for the shoe.
$10, Pa?
Yeah.
Pa, it's a real thing I had to forget.
All right. Buy your shoe with that.
Pa, this is looking like enough is a real thing I had to forget. I had to forget how all getting married in June. I had to forget the walk. I had to forget that all want 4 sheep, 4 pig, and the heart-shaped banana leaf.
Heart-shaped?
Oh,
you know Darwin married me. Everybody Darwin married me already before he died.
I'm Kian Walker-Hazel for Let's Talk Tobago.
For more than 3 centuries, millions of people were forcibly transported from parts of the African continent in the transatlantic slave trade to work on plantations for the benefit of the Western world. Their fight for freedom should never be forgotten or taken for granted. This gives emancipation celebrations in our country particular depth, both in meaning and expression. Here's a look at this year's emancipation celebrations in Tobago.
It's a date that will always be remembered, August 1st, 1834. It was the day thousands of slaves in the British West Indies became free men and women. This year in Tobago, the holiday was commemorated with a street procession and a cultural show at the Torbay Heritage Park. Then it was time for the cultural showcase featuring local performing groups and individuals.
But don't you know that prayers alone can't build a nation? Prayers alone, a ritualistic libation. It is by your perspiration you will eat your bread.
And on this day, the Junior Heritage Queen was also crowned. The contestants had the opportunity to use recyclable materials to construct their evening gowns. Taking the title was Mason Hall Police Youth Club's Azaria Anderson.
Rosary beads, otherwise known as jump beads, mirrors and screw pine.
Second place went to Nyesha Dennis representing Zante Unique Touch, and Zante also grabbed the 3rd position via its representative, Janae Thomas. Chief Secretary Honorable Fali Augustine was also present at the celebrations, and it took the opportunity to remind Tobagonians that it has been 188 years since slaves in this country became emancipated. He said, given the traumas and the enslavement of the African ancestors, Black people must be celebrated.
Just as we demand, as Dr. Williams in 1944 in his seminal thesis pointed out, that it was the commercial capitalism of slavery that led to the development, the industrial development of Europe. And that's why we are owed. But just as we are demanding reparations, we must also demand responsibility. We must demand responsibility from each other first and foremost. We must demand that we be responsible for taking care of each other. Our coming together makes us more powerful than you can even imagine. And we have to find a way to be united. We must demand that we be responsible for changing all of those colonial rules that keep us from economic development, from self-actualization, and that stymies our creativity.
And here's what some of the patrons had to say about the event and Emancipation Day itself.
The production this evening or earlier today was a wonderful one. I participated in the street parade. I had a wonderful time expressing our freedom, our culture, our joy and everything. This afternoon's presentation here was a combination of the various groups and villages from Tobago. And what was nice is that we had a mix of the band that engaged the younger generation.
In this time, in this period that we've just gone through a pandemic, it means finding ourselves again. It means finding the places and the safe spaces within the community to start bringing this thing back. Finding our freedom of expression in a way that makes us say to the world who we are as a people, as a Tobagonian, as a nation, and understanding that the way forward is education.
Emancipation is a reminder to us that we are no longer enslaved, and for us to enjoy the freedom that we have, and is a reminder as well for us to know that we must continue to achieve our fullest potential as Black people and do what our purpose is designed for us to do.
The event also brought the curtains down on the Tobago Heritage Festival 2022.
That's all for us, and with the close of this episode, we've completed our Tobago Heritage Festival Caravan. We thoroughly enjoyed the 2-week festival, and we truly hope you did as well, even though it may have been only through your devices. Remember, you can email us with your comments or queries about the program, and be sure to visit our website, like our Office of the Chief Secretary Facebook page, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. From our house to yours, I'm Davia Chambers, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe and productive week.
Yeah.
That one there with the flat here look very familiar. My friend, oh God, look how he handsome. Oh God, he's sweet, eh? If me little younger, oh God. Hey, when me young, eh? Hey, no, the man that used to watch me, no. Me no one hat number, eh?
See us. Auntie Gracie still a big man.
Yes,
boy. The niece them a walk over in a shiole.
Auntie Gracie.
Get them Auntie
That's Auntie Gracie. That's Gracie. Auntie Gracie.
Aye. When Auntie Gracie left Cologne and walked all the way to Mariah.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, Tobago, and welcome this morning to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. It is a beautiful Tuesday morning. It's Tuesday, the 9th of August, 2022. I am Rhea Richardson George, and this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Good morning to Tobago. Good morning, Trinidad, those of you in the Caribbean, and those of you viewing us on the live. It's a beautiful day. Seems a little bit overcast downtown Scarborough this morning, where we're coming to you live at the Port Mall, 3rd floor. But it's going to be a beautiful day. I'm noticing my earrings on air this morning, and these earrings are courtesy Linnell Adams. Linnell Adams. All right, so Linnell, I'm putting you out there this morning, girl. My lovely green earrings. Thank you so much. You can have them made, they're handmade, so you can check her out as well. All right, so Julian is not with us this morning, unfortunately, but Julian, we trust that wherever you are, that all is well. Lavin Simon, I'm beginning to suspect some things, but we trust that all is well with you, wherever you guys are. All right, so a beautiful morning, as we mentioned. We want to say thank you this morning to our sponsors. Yes, Sanctuary, Just My Size, Joy's Fashion, Mateo's, Checkpoint, and Braidology. All right, that's Crystal Levine's. Crystal, girl, I'm loving these braids. She's got her classes taking place even as we speak. So you can contact her anytime today. And I'll tell you, Crystal, persons kept coming to me yesterday asking, what's her number? I need somebody to braid my hair. So we were just giving it out left, right, and center. All right, so we'll mention our sponsors a little bit later on in the program this morning. So like we said, you know, lots of great and exciting things happening this morning. And before we get right into things, we want to head over to Candace. No yellow this morning, viewers. No yellow. You know, she's gotten over it somewhat. I see Assemblyman Zorisha Hackett still reeling from defeat. I'm going to leave it there. I'm not laughing, Assemblyman. I am not laughing, but I'm just putting it out there. I was reading some of the social media posts yesterday, and one can get a real hearty laugh from what was happening over the weekend with these Bishopians and their homecoming, you know, but I guess it was all in good fun. So over to Candace, not wearing yellow this morning, for our news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Ria, and here is your news in 90 seconds for Tuesday, 9th August 2022. Retired Director General of Civil Aviation, Ramesh Lakshmidiyal, supports Caribbean Airlines' refusal to increase flights on the air bridge because of sustained losses. Lakshmidiyal explained that each flight between Trinidad and Tobago incurs a cost of $40,800. Last week, CAL stated it lost over $9.6 million for 2022 on the domestic route. According to Lakshmidiyal, the actual cost of a return trip on CAL should be $1,000, not $300. Furthermore, the government only subsidizes $100 on each ticket sold, which is not enough to cover the operational cost. On to some news of crime. 2 men were charged with sexual offenses by the Scarborough Magistrate Court. In the first case, 33-year-old Thomas Walker from Plymouth faced charges of rape and false imprisonment. According to police reports, the victim claimed she was talking with Walker when she allegedly blacked out. She woke up in Walker's house and was then assaulted. He was placed on $150,000 bail. Meanwhile, 39-year-old Anthony Weeks from Speyside faced charges of rape and buggery. The victim reported to police that she was out at a river in Speyside when he asked for a hug. Weeks then allegedly sexually assaulted her, and he was placed on $200,000 bail. And now for some national news. The Scrap Iron Dealers Association called on the Prime Minister to reconsider plans to implement a 6-month ban on the export of scrap metals. At a press conference yesterday, Association President Alan Ferguson stated that the government should instead try to work with them to regularize the industry. The 6-month ban is to stem the large-scale theft of scrap metal. Ferguson threatened a nationwide protest action on Saturday if the government refused to reconsider the ban. And that was your news in 90 seconds, and it is back to you, Ria.
All right. Thank you so much there, Candace. Thank you so much there, Candace. Some interesting things, though. Some interesting things with regard to that Caribbean Airlines story. And we're going to be following that story this morning. Martin George, attorney at law, who is also the chairman of the Tobago Business Chamber, is going to be on the program this morning with us as we focus on the Tobago Business Chamber and CAL flights. I mean, we know how difficult it is to want to travel between Trinidad and Tobago and just not be able to get a flight. or a boat ticket. And sometimes, or matters of interest, in Trinidad are really important, and it is something sometimes very, very frustrating. All right? So we're going to be chatting about that this morning on the program. Before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about some birthdays. We got some birthdays today. All right? And let's see who are some of our birthday people. And kicking us off this morning is Dr. Roston Wood, who's celebrating his birthday today. Roston, love going out to you, and I mean lots and lots of love. More love going out to you than if it were Ronald's birthday. So Roston, love going out to you this morning from the entire Tobago Updates family. I trust that you have a really great one today. And my good friend out there, Kern Holder, celebrating his birthday. Kern, trust that you have a really great one, and I hope that you get all that you desire today, and that you keep safe, and God continues to bless you indeed. And this is another special one coming up here, and this is Mrs. Bernadette Parks. Birthday greetings going out to you, Mom Bernadette. Lots and lots and lots of love going out to you from the Tobago Updates family. And this is coming to you from your husband, Anthony Parks, daughter Nicole, son Anton, put the surname together, viewers, yes, and the rest of the entire Parks clan, the Scarborough Methodist Church congregation, and of course all of us here at Tobago Updates. All right, so all the best going out to you this morning, Mrs. Bernadette Parks. And just to share with you again what's coming up on the program, as we mentioned earlier, Martin George, chairman of the Tobago Business Chamber and attorney at law, is going to be on the program this morning as we take a look at the Tobago Business Chamber and Caribbean Airlines flights. As well, we're going to be chatting with Dr. Charleston Thomas, chairman of the Tobago Festivals Commission, about the importance of preserving our heritage. And closing us off this morning, some really good friends of mine are going to be on the program, Dr. Andre Phillips and Mr. Stephen Isaac, and they're going to be focused this morning on the Trinbago Diaspora Homecoming 2020. So that's what's coming up on the program later on this morning. As I mentioned earlier, we were looking at social media with this whole homecoming for bishops, bishopians over the weekend, and I tell you, Assemblyman Zarisha Hackett took it really, really, really tough. All right, really, really tough. But you know what? Like I said, it was all in fun, all in fun. Viewers, if you look at me, you need to check out her social media page. You need to check it out, and you need to follow some of the activities over the weekend, because I tell you, for those of you who are stressed, I promise you, at the end of viewing, you will be less stressed. The stress will go away. You will laugh so heartily. I tell you, you will forget your troubles. All right, so check it out, definitely. All right, so lots more coming up on the Tobago Updates morning show this morning. So viewers, this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, morning, good morning.
Mailakai Home Services. We specialize in cleaning of carpets and rugs, mattresses, living room and dining room sets, vehicle detailing, cleaning and sanitizing of homes and commercial spaces. We also do landscaping and tree cutting, pressure and power washing, floor care, fumigating and air purifying. You can also call us for professional painting services, babysitting and adult sitting. Call us now, 333-4430 at Mamaila Home Services. We take cleaning to another level.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice car get damaged bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. If sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry. If times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Susalands, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Exhale Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes for breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti served with chokers, bull joil and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. Good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Oh, viewers, welcome back this morning. It is the Tobago Updates morning show. And just to let you know this morning, we're going to do something just a little bit different. We're going to open up the phone lines. Definitely opening up those phone lines for you to call and connect with us. Just to remind you here that the number to call is 284-6597, and that number again is 284-6597. And just connecting with some of you on the live this morning, we want to say good morning to Arkema Thomas. Morning, beautiful people, she says. Lorraine Belfon Crookshank, good morning, everyone. Carol Fraser Davidson out there in Speyside, good morning, good morning. That's what, Bata Gaming. Oh, loving the fit, ma'am. Okay, all right. Good morning. I truly appreciate this quality program. Watching from Canada, I'm a Trini in Toronto, and that's Destiny Savory. Destiny, good morning, and thank you so much for connecting with us right here in Tobago for the Tobago Updates morning show. All right, so good morning to all of you. Donette Dempster, and I can picture Julian Skeet saying that name. The way he pronounces your name, Donette Dempster, I can't do justice. All right, I can only attempt. So Donette Dempster, good morning, good morning, good morning going out to you. And again, that number to call is 284-6597. So whether you are viewing us from Trinidad or Tobago, you can call and connect with us. And those of you on the live, of course, you're on social media. We're on Facebook. We're on Smash Radio, and we're coming to you live. We are on Gael. Yes, so you can connect with us. Street 919. You can definitely connect with us this morning, all right? You can definitely connect with us today. And just to remind you, we have that contact number for Braidology. That's Crystal Devines, the owner of Braidology, my hair courtesy, hair sanctuary, and Braidology for the braiding. 328-2075, and I'm putting it out there again, 328-2075. All right, you can also advertise with us, and the number to call is 284-6597. No, do not call now to advertise with us. You can call later on during the day. But if you want to call in on the program this morning to connect with us, you can certainly do so by calling 284-6597. Gloria Alec, good morning. Barbie Roberts, good morning to you. All right, good morning, good morning. All right, so, you know, Candace made mention during the news in 90 seconds of that story with the Caribbean Airlines operating at losses for every flight. Would viewers be willing to pay extra if it meant an increase in flights, if it meant secured flights? Would you be willing to pay more for these flights going to Trinidad? And that's the concern. I mean, we quarrel and we complain, oh, I can't get a flight to go to Trinidad when I want to. But if there is a slight increase to meet some of the overhead costs of, expenses of Caribbean Airlines, would we be willing to? I don't know how many of us would be willing to say, okay, put another 100 onto that, another 300 onto that. If the tickets were being sold at $600 return, would you put out $600 to fly between Trinidad and Tobago? 15-minute flight. Let's say 12 to 15. Okay, 15 to 20 minutes. Let's be a little fair. Would you be willing to put out $600 or more for that flight? I'd love to hear what you have, love to hear your thoughts on that. All right. So Catherine Smart says, good morning all. Help me say happy birthday to August Rose. 4 years old today. Happy birthday, August Rose. All right. Jesus, you love me so in my old age, you sent me a beautiful girl. Rose Thompson, love my gift. Thank you. Happy birthday going out to August Rose. Oh my gosh, precious. All right, 4 years old. I remember that age. I don't want to go back there. Yes, I remember children that age. Certainly don't want to go back having children that age at this point in my life. Yeah. All right, so lots more coming up on the program, as we mentioned, but you can call this morning and connect with us. And that number again, 284-6597, 284-6597. The phone lines are opened. You can also call 356-8833, 356-8833, and you can connect with us. All right. All right. So as we mentioned earlier, coming up on the program this morning, coming up on the program today, we're going to be chatting with, Mr. Stephen Isaacs and Dr. Andre Phillips, and we're going to be talking about the Tobago Diaspora Homecoming for 2022. And it's not homecoming as was the Bishop's homecoming over the weekend. No, it's very different, and they're going to tell us more about it when they come on to the program this morning. Andre Edwards, good morning. Good morning to you this morning. Good morning. All right, so lots more coming up on the program, viewers. Again, call us. We'd like to hear from you. 284-6597. That's 284-6597. 284-6597. As well, we're taking a look here at some other things happening within our Tobago space. All right. Okay. So we're gonna pause for calls here. We've got lots more coming up in the program this morning, viewers. So share the live. Share the live. Share the live.
Lot of measure, 'cause I'm a rock back chick. Never tag along, they never look back chick. Trendy, a little crazy.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place, with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
The Street 919 FM and the Tobago Updates presents the Tobago Updates Morning Show live simulcast on the Street 919 FM. Start your day with all the information you want and need with the simulcast of the Tobago Updates Morning Show live Mondays to Fridays from 7 a.m. on the Street 919 FM, the official station that defends the nation.
Advertise with Tobago Updates. Call 284-6597. If you have a small or large business, we can get your information in front of the masses. Reach our rapidly growing viewership on Facebook and YouTube. Promote your brand in Trinidad and the Caribbean through M&E TV Now and Gayel. Yes, we can build unique ads for your business. Call now 284-6597 and advertise with us.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Put
a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, welcome back this morning to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. We're chatting this morning with Martin George, Chairman of the Tobago Business Chamber, and as well as Attorney at Law, about the Tobago Business Chamber on the Caribbean Airlines flights. Good morning to you, Mr. George.
Yes, hi, good morning to you and good morning to your viewers and good morning to your listeners. I understand you have viewers and listeners in Kazakhstan, you have them in Azerbaijan, you have them in Moscow, you have them in Tripoli, all over the world. They follow your show and I'm happy to hear that.
Thank you so much. And we understand that you are really enjoying yourself this time around here, Mr. George.
Well, I try to make the most of life wherever I go.
That's right. That's right. Mr. George, let's chat this morning about the Tobago Business Chamber and Caribbean Airlines flights. Give us an idea, give our viewers this morning an idea of what is happening. Why are things so difficult? Give us an idea of where we're heading this morning.
Right. Okay. So the thing is, I mean, the challenge remains the connection between Trinidad and Tobago, and I have described it as a basic human right, a fundamental human right, because if you look at our constitution, which guarantees freedom of movement, if we in Tobago are to exercise the freedom of movement, can you think if you have a medical emergency at 3 a.m. and you need to get urgently to medical services in Trinidad, you cannot do so. You have to wait till the morning time, till the sunrise, and then go to the airport, try to beg somebody, explain to them your situation, hope that they are sympathetic to you and give you an opportunity to put you on a flight. This is unacceptable. And I always use the simple example, and I say, listen, if San Fernando and all of South Trinidad were cut off from North Trinidad, that there was no access whatsoever, the government would move heaven and earth in order to ensure that access is restored immediately. Why is it that we are facing such challenges and such problems with simple flight access between Trinidad and Tobago. You have Caribbean Airlines speaking about first they went on this trip to Qatar with the Prime Minister, and they were talking about wanting to do a partnership with Qatar Airways. You know where Qatar is, how far Qatar is from Trinidad and Tobago. So how could you be thinking of wanting to do mergers or plans with Qatar Airways, and you cannot even service your own domestic air bridge? There's a local saying in our local parlance: dance a yard before you dance abroad. If you understand me, I mean, if you'll pardon my use of the vernacular in that sense, because the fact of the matter is, if we cannot even manage our own in terms of our own domestic air bridge connection to have a safe, reliable, continuous, transfer of people, then how are you talking about, they want to have a Tobago to New York flight, a Tobago to Barbados? So how it is that you have planes for that, you have money for that, how those things are not issues? Nowhere have you seen Caribbean Airlines complain and say, well, we don't have money to have a Tobago to New York flight, but a simple Trinidad to Tobago flight. Once 8:30 reaches and any Tobagonian who wants to get back home is stranded in the airport, you basically have to spend the night in Piaco Airport. We all know that as a fact. And wait and hope that you could beg and push and, bamboozle your way onto a flight the next morning. It is unacceptable, and I will never stop saying so.
Now, Mr. George, we have been dealing with this issue for a very long time. I want to say since King Hatchet was a hammer, but it's been for a very long time. Being able to just simply pick up one day and decide, I want to go to Trinidad to spend the day, and being able to do so. What are your suggestions? How can we move past this? Because I feel as though every year, I mean, it happens over and over. July, August vacation, November, December, January to March. Why? What can we do? What measures can be put in place?
Well, the fact of the matter is that Caribbean Airlines needs to get its act together. And by trying to, play the blame game as they did, and that's why we castigated them so severely, because they were trying to basically blame the Tobago Air Bridge for their losses over the years. And that's unacceptable, because Caribbean Airlines is an airline that has been making a loss since it's born, since it's a baby. Since it's in Pampers, Caribbean Airlines making a loss. So why are you blaming the Tobago Air Bridge? We are not responsible for your losses. It's your gross mismanagement over the years, your failed ventures, your flights of fancy, all the failed investments and squandermania that has taken place. That is what is responsible for your losses. Don't blame Tobagonians and the Tobago Air Bridge. Don't blame the average Trinidadian who's simply trying to get to Tobago for a vacation and wants to be able to get back without the hassle. When you think of it, think of how much revenue Tobago has lost by Trinidadians who say, listen, it's easier for me to get a flight to Grenada. It's easier for me to get a flight to Miami. It's easier for me to get a flight to Barbados. So therefore, those who can afford it, they choose those options. They say, look, it's just too much stress and hassle to get a confirmed flight to and from Tobago with myself, my friends, my family, etc. So it's crippling our Tobago economy. We're talking about upcoming events. We're talking about the Tobago Carnival. The THA has been begging and pleading with CAL, give us some commitment that you are putting on extra flights, and they refuse to do so. They refuse to give that commitment. I mean, you had the Chief Secretary actually saying, listen, I am willing to put up the money to keep the airport open, to have the additional flights, and still you have CAL not responding to that. We have our Prime Minister who is a Tobagonian, and I don't know, is it that he's not listening to the pleas and the cries of his people in Tobago, or is it that he's not hearing them, or is it that he's ignoring the cries of his people in Tobago? Why is this still a talking point? As you yourself said, it's years we've been talking about this. Why is this still an issue?
Okay, let me ask you here. If clients / customers, Tobagonians, Trinbagonians, were asked to pay more for flights between Trinidad and Tobago, would that help? Could that make a difference?
Okay, so what I have suggested is that look, you look at having a two-tier structure if that helps to ease things. You can have a business class fare and an economy fare, the same way that you have in normal flights all over. So, in other words, if it is that you have, for instance, a standby list, and someone says, "Well, hey, listen, I need to get urgently," you say, "Well, hey, listen, we have a business class fare, which say, for instance, okay, the normal economy fare is 300, the business class fare is 500. If you really need to get urgently, you pay the business class fare and you get on a flight immediately." That is going to try to help to ease the burden. But we don't want to create at the same time a class structure. In other words, so the rich and powerful could get on ahead of the ordinary citizens. So I think what they will have to do in addition to that is ensure that anyone who has a Tobago identification card or a Tobago driver's permit, in other words, once you have identification showing a Tobago address, showing that you do reside either or habitually in Tobago, then you ought to be entitled to the economy fare, even at the preferential, seating. So therefore that helps to balance it out, because I am not going to advocate. I saw Mr. Ramesh Lachmidial make a statement, former director of the Civil Aviation Authority. He made the suggestion of the two-tier structure, but I also saw him suggest that for Tobagonians ought to be some concession, and in that regard, I agree with him.
All right. Is this similar, this two-tier system, is this similar to what the Port Authority recently started doing with the premium and economy tickets on the ferry?
No, the thing is totally different. What they are offering is basically that you still line up in the hot sun, you still herded like cattle in the hot sun and sweating and waiting there and lining up, and basically you're paying more for what they consider a premium seat. But at the end of the day, you don't get any priority scheduling for a sailing. What I am suggesting is a priority scheduling by way of the use of the premium payment for those who really genuine emergencies, or business persons who need to get to and from Tobago quickly. But you ensure that you have, for Tobagonians, persons who can produce an ID card or a driver's permit showing a Tobago residential address. You ensure that they are able to have access to the same priority seating or priority flight without paying the premium. So it's totally different from what the Port Authority has implemented.
All right, well, thank you so much this morning, Mr. Martin George. I know you've got a full day ahead of you. But very quickly here, just before we go,
yes,
what is that call that you'd like to leave with Tobagonians this morning?
Well, certainly I would like Tobagonians to understand that when we are rallying for these things, when we are making the call for these things, it is not something that we are asking for as a luxury or a favor. It's a basic fundamental human rights. I invite persons to look at your constitution, look at the chapter in section 4, which speaks about your right to freedom of movement, and you would recognize this is exactly what I'm saying. We are a twin island nation. If your freedom of movement between one island and the other is curtailed in any way, then it appears to me prima facie to be a fundamental breach of your constitutional rights. So we need to look at it in that context. We need to remove the political blinkers and blinders, and remove the lenses which tend to keep us apart, and focus on the things that unite us rather than those that divide us.
All right. Thank you so much there. Thank you so much there, Mr. Martin George. I trust that you have a really great day. Continue on, be safe wherever you are. And that was some crucial information there for us, and we really appreciate it. Viewers, we are going to continue on this morning with our program, and we're going to switch gears as we chat here on set with us with Dr. Charleston Thomas, who's the chairman of the Tobago Festivals Commission. And as we switch gears, our focus this morning is on the importance of preserving our heritage. Good morning and welcome to you this morning, Dr. Thomas. It's good to have, I'm doing well. It's good to have you on the program with us this morning. All right. Now let's talk a little bit about, what's been happening. We focused this morning on the importance of preserving our heritage. How important is that? We live in a society now that does not know anything about, or very little about, the heritage, because the stories are not being passed on, the traditions are not passing on, the heritage is not passing on. How important is it to have, to be able to preserve our heritage this morning? And I mean, we're talking heritage here, as we've just come out of the Tobago Heritage Festival season. So how important is it, in your opinion, to have that preserved?
Okay, so good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Good
morning, listeners. And thanks for having invited me.
A pleasure indeed.
So the business of heritage is actually quite a very contested area. You know, people tend to think it is fairly easily understandable. And you have a lot of easy usage of the term, and quite a lot of easy application of the term as well, particularly as it relates to national events, national development, etc. But it's a quite contested area, a contested term.
Now we use it loosely.
We use it very loosely, as many other terms, right? But it really has to do with how, you know, how our present uses the past.
Could you repeat that?
Yes. What happens in the present, I could actually put it in grammatical terms for you.
Go ahead.
All right? So what happens in the present tense? What happens now? All right? So heritage really has to do with how what happens now depends or is contingent on the past. All right? So it's the contemporary use of the past, the modern use of the past. And if we use in the past, then naturally we have to begin thinking about how we select items from the past to celebrate, to talk about ourselves, etc., right? Because the past is always with us, all right? I just want to refer to one of the comments that Mr. George made in relation to herding at the Port Authority for travel.
Yes.
That's something from the past that is still with us, all right?
But I'm sure it's a heritage that we'd love to break.
Precisely. So when we use heritage, you know, very loosely, we don't think of all the implications of the term and of the past, all right? We also have a past of noise, all right? So, and that's still with us.
Right.
So is that something we want to preserve?
No.
Good, right? So when we talk about heritage, the conversation really, I believe, ought to be about what is our responsibility to look at the past and select the valuable aspects of it in order to inform how we live now and to, of course, inform some kind of future.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that. I'm really happy that you mentioned that. Even as we look at the Tobago Heritage Festival that we now just came out of, there are some aspects some say that we could do away with, and there's some aspects some say we could move forward with.
Right.
What would you say are some of those traditions that we should uphold, and some of those that maybe we can lay aside? I don't want to say do away with, but lay aside.
Well, I'll first say that it's not for me to say what we should leave and take one. I think that's more a collective. Once we're talking about using the past in relation to a collective agenda, a national agenda, then the question really has to be a collective decision as to what we can carry forward, what we can put aside.
Right.
All right. However, as an individual, right, and being a linguist and a musician and etc., I have biases. So the whole business of language, you know, the richness and the prowess of our language in Tobago is something that we need to keep and carry forward. All right. I would love to see that. No, it manifests itself organically throughout the Heritage Festival.
Right.
All right. So you see it because that's who we are. That's what we use. That's how we communicate. And naturally, because the villages are involved in the productions, you have the organic and the essence of the of the language emerging on stage,
but
right?
we were made to feel really badly growing up, you know, visiting Trinidad or maybe other islands, and they, you know, persons would have heard the what we call the twang.
The twang.
And they would have said, oh, you're not from Trinidad.
Right.
Where are you from?
Right.
Oh, you're from Tobago.
Right.
I'm really picking up on it, but making Tobagonian young people, Tobagonian people, feel really badly for the use of this unique language, almost as though you were illiterate for using this twang.
Well, it's really a holdover from the colonial educational system, right? Which is something that doesn't only afflict the Trinidadians or the other folks who distinguish the Tobagonian via language, but it also something that afflicts us as Tobagonians, all right? Because sometimes I mean, if I can just use a very cliched example, the Jamaicans are often eager to speak themselves into the media. They don't run away from it.
No.
Right? But you would still find in the Tobago context, right, our language is really restricted, particularly when it is engaged with cameras and lights and whatnot, right? It's really packaged as humor, right? Right? Packaged as humor, almost as if we are afraid to engage serious conversation in our language, right? Is a problem, right? So it's still stigmatized. So I would like to see, you asked about what I would like to see remaining and preserved. Certainly, you know, the business of our language, you know that the Jamaica has gone ahead and translated the King James Version into the Jamaican Creole, all right? And that kind of bold aggressiveness is what I would also like to see more prominently as part of our Heritage Festival, and not just the organic, which is good, but not just the organic performance of it on stage.
Just take it to
because you have villagers who use that, who have that as their first language, and they're on stage performing, right? Now, I would also like to see, I am not a person of cliches, and I hate the idea that I am here to market Tobago into cliches. So while it is good, all stereotypes aren't bad, all right? So the business of our folk expressions, I mean, is quite deep, rich. I mean, I've lived in Trinidad for a number of years, and what we have here in a very small space, the magnetism of it, I haven't seen it in Trinidad, especially in relation to the thickness of our folk expression, all right? However, to say that that is all of who we are is, to me, pigeonholing the island and giving ourselves the opportunity, you know, to market a cliche.
Right.
I often refer to Dr. Susan Craig James's work, a phenomenal piece of research, you know, 2 volumes, The Changing Society of Tobago. And in there is a section that details the legacy of Tobago's sacred music making tradition. All those village choirs, the competitions that came out of the early 1900s, between 1900 and 1950s, you know, the sacred music tradition, which is one of the things that explains the musical greatness of Tobago as well, all right? So that is actually bound up in one of the inherited colonial systems that has worked, right? So not, as I said, not all things of the past we can take, and by that same idea, not all things of the past are to be put aside. So the sacred music making tradition in Tobago, which produced singers like Sharon Phillips, like myself, like the Wilson group. There was once a group called the Heralds of Perfection Singers.
I remember that.
Right. It's their parents, their children who became masters' minds, Kashif and Delissa. All right.
Now we're seeing the history.
That's the heritage, right? So I would love to see more prominence of the sacred music making tradition in Tobago as part of our music legacy, which would remove us from this pigeonhole cliched effect, you know, I'm fed up here, how, oh, we could do this, yes, and that, this. But I don't hear how, you know, the richness of our sacred music making tradition has produced what we actually see now.
how then do we take what was and bring it into the future, bring it into the now, to better us?
Aggressive education, but a different kind of aggressive education. An education that makes everybody, so it's both formal and informal education, right? And it's an education that allows us to taste the flavor of ourselves, right? We're sweet, we're nice, but we have been told for so long that we're not nice and that we're kind of bitter. But that's not true. So if we, put the brilliant heads we actually have on board together and imagine how we could think about creating the mental nutrition to stimulate the flavor for ourselves, right? Then we could start to determine what really are the elements that we should preserve and that we should put aside. So it's not just this quick and easy run to, well, is we think, let me just use it. Sometimes people use that, as a excuse to just perform badly, to be bad people, right? It's because, right? But you're disturbing some neighbors next door, and there's a baby who can't sleep, there's an old lady, right? But you're passing with this vehicle, with the noise over the decibel level, etc., right? All that is heritage, so we could celebrate it, can we? We're killing people with noise, right? And I mean, there was a flood in Trinidad some years ago. When the flood was finished, if you saw the mounds of bottles that you had coming out of the coughing up out of the drains and the canals, you couldn't imagine that people just flinging these things over. That's there too. So is that something to celebrate? No. So rather than run very quickly to the term and use it loosely, I think we should establish more critical distance to the term, be more meditative and reflective, and then approach the thing with more maturity.
And what would be your message this morning to our viewers?
Love ourselves, love when Granny talking to you in the Creole, right? There's a particular wisdom that is coming to us through that peculiar communication that cannot be expressed in English. When they say that does not mean no. There's a whole host of wisdom inside that right? Love ourselves. So as chair of festivals, that is the kind of environment I'm hoping to foster.
I saw recently where in Trinidad and Tobago, when we use the term can mean so many different things.
Precisely.
Can mean yes, it can mean
Precisely.
no, or I'm thinking that term.
Right.
That term as you...
Well, in fact, if I could just quickly say, yes. There's an essay that's forthcoming from myself on the verbal gestures. That's what they call the verbal gestures in Tobagonian, and the principle of deep listening, which of course is useful, very valuable for musicians and for students who do modern languages. You had to do listening comprehension as one of the 4 components when you're doing modern languages. And what I, as a musician and linguist, what I observed over the years was that deep listening, which I had started as a piano student, enabled me to actually pick up all the nuances of our songs beyond words, right? And I put together an essay which is supposed to be published from a German publisher very soon, next year.
And I trust that you will be back with us to share on that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, it's good to have you with us this morning. Lovely to chat with you. I see Wendy Ann Phillips on the live saying here, good morning, my past schoolmate, Dr. Charleston Edwards. Edward, she says? Thomas. I think this one is Thomas.
Yes.
All right. She cleared it up. She said, Dr. Charleston Thomas, my past schoolmate. All right. Thank you so much there, Wendy Ann, and thank you so much, Dr. Thomas, for being on the program with us. All right, so we look forward to more things coming out of Dr. Thomas there later on in the year. And viewers, we're going to switch gears, as we mentioned earlier on in the program. We are going to be chatting about the Homecoming 2022, and our next guests are going to be chatting with us on that, and that's Dr. Andre Phillips, as well as Mr. Stephen Isaac, and they're going to be chatting with us on what's coming up, what's happening with Homecoming 2022 when we come back on the other side of things. So viewers, share the live, share the live, share the live.
Good morning, morning.
you see or know about a crime, report a crime safely and anonymously. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime. You can play your part safely and anonymously. Report a crime. Earn a reward. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime. Be a hero. Champion. Fearless citizen. Be a crime stopper safely and anonymously. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime.
Good morning, morning, good morning, morning. Put a smile on your Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Sweet island Tobago, I love you.
Tobago Diaspora Outreach Network invites you to Homecoming 2022 from August 20th to the 30th. Come, reconnect, rediscover, and rejuvenate in diverse and engaging activities, including stimulating panel discussions, nationwide island tours, the Diaspora Family and Fun Day, our authentic cultural showcase, and join in the myriad celebrations organized for national independence. Trinbagonians residing abroad, come home for Teedan celebrations of the nation's 60th anniversary of independence. Register at www.trinbagodiaspora.org or WhatsApp us 1-868-682-1432 or email homecoming@gmail.com. Seize this opportunity to immerse yourself in Trinidad and Tobago.
Remember where you come from, Tobago.
Viewers, welcome back this morning to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. I am honored this morning to have on set with me two very good friends of ours here, Dr. Andre Phillips, who is the founder and chairman of the Tobago Diaspora Outreach Network. Along with him this morning, my other very, very good friend, Mr. Stephen Isaac, who is the deputy chairman of the Trinbago Diaspora Outreach Network. And this morning our focus is on Trinbago Diaspora Homecoming 2022. Gentlemen, good morning and welcome to you.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.
No, it's good to have you with us this morning. Now, Mr. Dr. Phillips, we go way back.
Yes.
Mr. Stephen Isaac, we go way back. And it's really good to have you gentlemen on the program with us. And I want to get an idea this morning of the Trinbago Diaspora, the Trinbago Diaspora Outreach Network. And I think, Mr. Isaac, in chatting with you before, you said it was... Is Teedan?
Teedan, easy.
How did Teedan get started? Where was the... how was it birthed? There was an idea birthed in somebody's mind, somebody's heart. Where did it start? Over to you, Doctor.
Well, Trinbago Diaspora Outreach Network was born last year. It was incorporated in August 2021. And it is an expression, or it emerged from results coming out from my doctoral research in the area of diaspora and tourism. Because I have had some research over the period in doing my doctoral research, I was able to hook up with people like Stephen Isaac, Robert Cumberbatch, who's out of Arizona, and some other people, because my focus was in the US. And coming out of that, I indicated to them some of the issues that you recognize in terms of the gap, the gulf between the diaspora and our local citizenry. We will create an entity that would help to drive a closer and more harmonious relationship between the two. And that is what has unfolded over the last year. And in an effort to push what we are seeking to do as an organization, which is research, recognize, and engage on behalf of the diaspora. The Homecoming is a single project that encapsulates all our operational strategies. So we came up with the idea of the Homecoming last October, and we started the planning. And we've gotten to this point where we are on the cusp of the rollout on the 22nd of August.
All right.
On the 20th of August.
And I'm particularly interested in the rollout. So give us this morning an idea of what the rollout of this project looks like.
All right. So in essence, let's call Homecoming Diaspora Appreciation Week. We have a pre-activity, which is a meet and greet on the 20th. That is Saturday, the same day with Great Race. We are going to be having our people go on the tours from Buku. We're going back to the original. Buku, Jetty. We are moving to No Man's Land, but before that, they're going on the reef and Nylon Pool.
Right.
Then we have a beach line of sort on the No Man's Land.
Right.
Then the actual activities start on the 22nd. Monday the 22nd through the 24th of August, we will be having a medical outreach program that is largely coordinated by Mr. Stephen Isaac, our Deputy Chairman. After that, on the 24th is the last day for here, but we are also doing the programs in Trinidad. The medical outreach program is continuing, is being done in Tobago and Trinidad. So after that, we want the people to have a little leisure time. So we have some tours booked for the Atlantic or the Windward End on the Thursday, and on the Friday, we have a leeward tour that would allow us to traverse the territory from Plymouth to Lansome.
All right.
The Saturday, there is a Diaspora Family and Fun Day at Concordia Estate, one of our sponsors, a Diaspora-owned property. And we have the convention that opens on the 28th, Sunday the 28th, interfaith service, followed by an authentic cultural concert. And then we have 2 days of academic activities, panel discussions, and so on, all at the Mount Irving Bay Hotel.
All right.
That's it in a summary.
That's it in a summary indeed.
Diaspora Appreciation Week.
Yes. Now, the last time, one of the last time that I saw Mr. Stephen Isaac, this could have been about 2015, 2016, somewhere thereabout. And, you know, that's just a little while back. And it was at one of these medical outreach programs that was held in Betsy's Hope, if I'm not mistaken. Betsy's Hope, Tobago. That's East Tobago. So tell us now about this medical, the free, and you know, persons out there love to hear the free. So let me put in it's free medical outreach. So tell us about what's happening with this free medical outreach.
Well, with respect to the free medical outreach, we have some things that wasn't mentioned by our director. He did mention like the 20th.
Right.
But we know that health is wealth, right?
Yes.
And we cannot, this body that we have, right, is the only place in which we have to live.
That's right.
So therefore we have to make sure we take care
of it.
So with that in mind, we organized a series of presentations on cardiovascular. So essentially, it would be starting on the 16th at 7 p.m. on the 16th. We have Dr. Daniel Beckles, a very close friend of mine out of Austin, Texas. He's a Trinidadian, went to St. Benedict's. He'll be doing a presentation on cardiovascular disease that is open to everyone. Even children can benefit from that. So that's on the 16th. We move to the 23rd, 7 p.m. also on the 23rd. We have Dr. Gerard Antoine, stroke, diabetes. So he'll be doing stroke, presentation on stroke at 7 p.m. Then on the 30th, my friend, I call him scientist, Dr. Ricardo Bob from Tobago, he is going to be doing a presentation on diabetes on the 30th, 7 p.m. So we have everything scheduled for the 7th. We'll have, it's going to be on Zoom, so it's going to be virtual. And the details will be available, like the link and everything. And everybody can participate in that. So what we did, connected with the Tobago, what you spoke about was the Tobago Progressive Organization,
Right.
celebrating 32 years this year in the month of December, not-for-profit status. But I'm also connected with, I'm a board member on the board of directors with APC Community Services, which is a Guyanese organization. So I felt the need, and also have a Uzima Lifestyle Center in Kalamazoo, Michigan. We do diabetes classes. Dr. McLean, the director, we've been doing that since the onset of the pandemic. So I felt it was a good thing to twin TDON with Tobago, and by extension with APC Community Services, providing all the services that are there, which would make it easier for us. So what we did, I shipped in some barrels, commercial bins. I have a few of the items here. It's general service, quite a lot of stuff here. Diabetic machines, face masks, hand sanitizers, temperature guns, and the list goes. I won't take the time to go through, but these will be available to actually give out to people who are coming at the health fairs. And this is just the beginning, pretty much.
And like I said, that's just the beginning.
Yes.
And I see here your motto is research, recognize, engage.
That is the theme for homecoming.
The theme for homecoming.
Yes. Reconnect, rediscover, and rejuvenate. These are three major motivations of people when they come home.
Yeah.
So we captured it in the theme for the homecoming.
All right. Now, gentlemen, I have to tell you here, I always love when persons, grow, they expand, and they come to give back. It says that we're not forgotten. It says to the people who you've left behind, you're not forgotten. And I have to commend you for this. Definitely have to commend you. Remind us of the dates again. When things start and how persons can connect with you. And I heard you mention a little while ago, Mr. Isaacs, about the link. So is it going to be a virtual affair? Mainly virtual affair?
Virtual affair. Virtual.
Any face-to-face activities?
The face-to-face activities will be at the conference in Mount Irving, which Dr. Philip could explain a little bit. But those night programs are actually, those evening programs are virtual.
But the free medical outreach is going to be a face-to-face?
Yes. Actually, let me quickly give you the locations for the Tobago program. And we are at the same time indicating the center of the focus of the medical outreach this year is providing help for special needs children.
Right.
So we are doing hearing screening and vision screening in the Port Mall Tuesday the 23rd and Wednesday the 24th. On the Monday, we are in the Roxborough Police Youth Club, and we thank them for allowing us the use of the facility where the program will roll out a range of services that the Tobago Progressive Association has been accustomed to doing. They are going to be put forward in the Roxborough area. But all hearing and vision screening will take place at the Port Mall, the 23rd and 24th, from roughly 9 a.m. to about 5 p.m. It is important for us to say that this initiative is targeting to reach the hearing screening in particular 150 challenged children in Tobago over those 2 days.
You've done your research to have an idea of how many?
As a matter of fact, we have to commend the SDA, the Seventh-day Adventist Mission, especially in Trinidad. We have a coordinator there, Vicky Decoto. And she's been doing some tremendous work over the months to define what would be the strongest impact the diaspora contribution can make in this year. Right. So after that, as I said, well, that's a practical program. People are asked, however, to register. And how they register is simply WhatsApp us at 264-2028 or 762-5431. And they will be the auto-send on WhatsApp with the name of the child, the parent or guardian, and the type of issues they have, plus their address, where they live. They will get a response once they send this in to our office.
And this is mainly for special needs?
Special needs children.
But can children without special needs?
Yes, they can, but they would be dealt with where we have space.
Right.
Right?
The priority here is special needs.
Yes, and of course, there's a little fee if a parent comes, and you want to be involved, they charge $30.
Right.
But we have to big up Quartz Optical, because Quartz Optical has now come on board to do the vision screening for our Tobago location, Port Moore, as well as our 3 locations in Trinidad. Las Lomas, because you are national, I have to call the Trinidad places.
Yes, Tobago Updates is national.
Las Lomas, St. Mary's School down in Moruga, and the Tranquility Secondary School are the locations for the programs in Trinidad.
Right, so I want to just come in here to thank Vicky Dikoto. I've been working with her since forever. I can't remember how many years. Even before she was health minister, and by extension, the South Caribbean Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, because the things that are coming in, I usually come through the South Caribbean Conference. And now I've incorporated the Tobago Mission, Pastor Frederick, and our new president, Pastor Vishnu Prasad, whom I haven't met as yet. But so we've incorporated. So we'll be having services from the medical missionaries. I mean, we're going across the whole, the whole spectrum, you know, to provide everything that we can provide within that time. And I want to thank you, Ria, so much for giving us the opportunity
it's really good
to give back, because that's basically what we do.
And I want to just, before we close, emphasize that we have the Authentic Cultural Showcase in Tobago. That is the start of the convention. So the convention has a big concert on the 28th. That concert, the cost is $250 to participate. It's an interactive affair. And at the end, the Mariah Old Time Wedding reenactment will be taking place in that event. Following that, we start, before that, however, on the Sunday morning, we start with an interfaith service at Mount Irving. So the theme is Jubilation, and the special speaker is Reverend Jeremiah Prescott, who is a diasporan of long-standing, a Tobago man based in New York, but pushing the missions right through Africa and other parts of the world. So he has decided to come in, and the theme, under the theme of Jubilation, he will be doing the independence message. We also invite all other faiths to send a representative to participate. And then the last 2 days, renewing diaspora commitment to Trinidad and Tobago. Those are the convention, on the conference days, Monday the 29th and Tuesday the 30th.
All right, but thank you so much, gentlemen,
for
being on the program with us here. Very quickly here, I see Pearl Murray Baird saying, welcome home, Mr. Isaac. I am happy to see you. She says, Wendy Ann Phillips says, good initiative from the diaspora community. So, gentlemen, you're definitely on a good path. But we're going to leave it there for today. Thank you again for being on the program with us. Viewers, thank you so much for joining us today. It's Tuesday, so which means tomorrow is Wednesday, and it's the youth program on tomorrow with Aliyah, Dwayne, and Janae. All right, so have a great day, stay safe, and we will see you tomorrow and Thursday when Julian will be back. We head over now to GMT with Candace. Have a great day, Tobago. Bye-bye.
People strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power. We are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers. We are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number 1. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger.
Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice car get damaged bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. If sickness catch you off guard, I tell them never ever worry. If times fall on you real hard, I tell them never ever worry. worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Mamai Lakai Home Services. We specialize in cleaning of carpets and rugs, mattresses, living room and dining room sets, vehicle detailing, cleaning and sanitizing of homes and commercial spaces. We also do landscaping and tree cutting, pressure and power washing, floor care, fumigating and air purifying. You can also call us for professional painting services, babysitting and adult sitting. Call us now 333-4430 at Mamai Lakai Home Services. We take cleaning to another level.
Yeah. Hey.
Tobago updates.
Na 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 na.
Good morning, Tobago.
Na 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 na.
Wake up with Candace and Denise.
Let's go, go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hail my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power. We are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers. We are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago.
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad, and the region. With the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine, I am Candace Jackson, and let's get started with the news in 90 seconds. Retired Director General of Civil Aviation, Ramesh Lachmidial, supports Caribbean Airlines' refusal to increase flights on the air bridge because of sustained losses. Lachmidial explained that each flight between Trinidad and Tobago incurs a cost of $40,800. Last week, CAL stated it lost over $9.6 million for 2022 on the domestic route. According to Lachmidial, the actual cost of a return trip on CAL should be $1,000, not $300. Furthermore, the government only subsidizes $100 on each ticket sold, which is not enough to cover the operational cost. On to some other news. 2 men were charged with sexual offenses by the Scarborough Magistrates Court. In the first case, 33-year-old Thomas Walker from Plymouth faced charges of rape and false imprisonment. According to police reports, the victim claimed she was talking with Mr. Walker when she allegedly blacked out. She woke up in Walker's house and was then assaulted. He was placed on $150,000 bail. Meanwhile, 39-year-old Anthony Weeks from Speyside faced charges of rape and buggery. The victim reported to the police that she was at a river in Speyside with Weeks when he asked for a hug. Weeks allegedly was then assaulted and he was placed on $200,000 bail. And for some national news, the Scrap Iron Dealers Association called on the Prime Minister to reconsider plans to implement a 6-month ban on the export of scrap metals. At a press conference yesterday, Association President Alan Ferguson stated that the government should instead try to work with them to regularize the industry. The 6-month ban is to stem the large-scale theft of scrap metal. Ferguson threatened a nationwide protest action on Saturday if the government refused to reconsider the ban. And that was your news in 90 seconds. And as we're rounding off the news dealing with scrap metals, now we're going to be talking about metals, but not scrap metals, metals in a different light. And we're going to be speaking with Rojas Engineering. So we have on set with us Mr. and Mrs. Dion and Josan Rojas. Good morning and welcome to you guys.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right, now, I mean, we're going to be talking about something special that Rojas Engineering is being involved in, and that is the IDB grant for, let me just get it correct here, for shaping future innovation. So, first of all, I guess, Mr. Rojas, you can start and to just tell me a little bit about this grant and why is it so special and crucial to a new idea you guys are developing.
It's very important because given the state of affairs right about now, to get monies injected into prototype work, it's very difficult. I've been seeing it for the last couple of weeks that most banking or financial institutions don't really give in to promoting or going out on a limb for companies that are willing to develop a product. Because they can't see the end result. You may have the end result on paper, saying that you'll develop this item of novelty, and then you will show the projections, and you probably show the possibility of sales and the returns. But they think it's very risky. So that being said, they usually keep away from it. So we want to thank, in particular, IDB, Kariri, the Ministry of Planning and Development, and the European Union for finally making the step to make funds available for prototype work and the development of creative and innovative ideas.
And I know that you guys are the only people from Tobago that were selected for this grant proposal.
That's right.
And I mean, tell me about, that whole process. Josanne, you could tell me that whole process and what it was to get involved and to make the application and so on.
Okay, so this grant call was out, I think, at the end of November last year. And so there's a few stages. The first stage, you had to send in like a concept note, and that was the first stage. And then once you were successful in your concept note, you then our concept note, I think, which was we got through in January. And then we went on to stage 2, where you had to go through like sending an implementation plan, a feasibility study, a business canvas, a budget, and then you had to have an interview with the expert panel on your idea. And so we went through that stage as well, and then we were successful in stage 2. And we found out that in April. So it's been a few months of work, a long process. And we are just thankful that in the end, we got into the final 15.
All right. Now, I mean, if the viewers don't know, Rojas Engineering has been an important part here in Tobago and behind some pretty iconic projects. For instance, the signs, the I Love Tobago signs, I Love Buku signs, you guys have been behind that. And now you're taking on a new project, which is to create smokers and barbecue pits. So, Mr. Rojas, I would just like you to tell me a little bit about your idea and your proposal for this project and why you chose it.
We are not wanting to give away too much because we can't.
Of course, yes.
But it gives the pit user, as I said before, a great amount of versatility, and you could freestyle at any given time. Because sometimes, all right, say you're at a particular event and you recognize, and you look at the other person, say selling hot dogs, you recognize, and your burger's not selling, or your roti not selling. You can say to yourself, you know what, I could switch up and do something to match the demand at that particular event. So it gives the person a chance to capitalize or to read the crowd and to see what's selling. And that's it in a nutshell. You're not stuck at one point in time offering one particular food service or item, as it were. So it gives the customer versatility.
Okay. And then when will we be able to hear, about you guys advancing in this grant proposal and, what's the timelines looking like?
I think within the next year, we will definitely have a product that is ready and be going through the testing phase and going through some market trials. So I think definitely within the next year, you'll see us back on Tobago Updates giving you more of an update on what we've done and presenting.
Perhaps a demonstration.
Yes, giving you a demonstration of the actual product.
Because what we have to do at first is to create the product virtually on the software, and some of the testing will be done virtually as well, where you do like interference testing. There's some amazing software out there at the moment, albeit costly, but you could come pretty close to the final article. Quite obviously, when you bring things into tangible or into fruition, you could see certain things that you wouldn't be able to spot or identify or snag on the software, but it brings you quite close. And that's the process thing she's explaining. We need to get it on the software, do the drawings, and then bring the prototype forward, test it, snag it, go again and again, and then finally have that final product which will be very pleasing and useful within the public sphere as it were.
No, as you're talking about using the technology to enhance your project, we know that here in Tobago we have a lot of artisans, a lot of people that are very, very gifted and very, very skilled. Of course, yourself included, you've been doing amazing work with metal, but there's people doing work with wood and all types of different materials. But you know, they tend to just go about it with hand. And I want you to tell me about the importance of embracing and learning this new technology and using it to enhance your product so that when it comes out, the end product is something of class and something that, you know, speaks of a high value to be marketed.
Yeah, that's funny you should say that. I've been championing that point for a couple of years, and I've always mentioned it when I have a chance on platforms to talk directly to institutions offering training programs to young men and women. Yes, you need to integrate. It is vital for your existence and your survival within the skilled arena. No longer are you called upon to do things just basically by hand or by trial and error. You must integrate the software into your plan of action if you want to take it to the international level. And also, all right, even, let's be fair, I don't think even at the domestic level you should be offering someone a service that is not technologically inclined or influenced. It's unfair because at the end of the day, you're not going to be charging a party. You can't be charging premium price for something that is a bit of a hit and a miss.
Yes.
Because I could say, you know, I could draw something on the software and it's almost, there's no 100%. But you come very, very close. So when you actually go out into reality, it just fits. It fits like hand and glove. But the disconnect that happens there is where you have people who are not academically inclined getting into skill. So there's a disconnect with them using the software and not understanding the application or the essence of the actual software. So you need to be academically inclined to be able to drive the software, implement it, and to bring your product to that premium standard.
I mean, and of course, you know, one of the reasons why you guys were considered is the fact that you have been using that technology to enhance your products. And what other programs that are out there? Actually, no, I just want you to tell me a little bit, first of all, about, you know, that need to have that, to be able to produce that quality product and to show that you can produce that quality product, to be able to access these grants, because IDB is not the only international facility out there for local entrepreneurs like yourselves.
Okay, well, what I will touch on, and it's an encouragement to anyone out there, this actual grant, there's going to be a second call for proposal, I think, at the end of September, so people could start looking out for it. Particularly, you can make sure that you're following Kariri's page, because it will definitely be posted there. I think persons domestically need to think a bit outside of the box, but also be willing to invest their time and their resources and their finances in knowledge, improving on their skills in research and development, in doing the market research, and also even when you get the funding into advanced machinery, tooling, equipment, because I think sometimes persons are afraid to make huge investments in the technology, but you have to invest, as he said, in the know-it-all, in the training, in the skills, and thankfully we have the internet, so a lot of things can be learned online. You don't have to necessarily travel abroad right away. You can start to activate your neurons in what you're interested in online, and then once you're comfortable, then you can maybe take the step in further training and development. But persons have to be willing to take that leap in investing in themselves and in the machinery and in the technology in order to be successful. So whatever they're thinking about, Kariri and IDB and the European Union, they are looking for ideas that are innovative, yes, but that can also enhance job creation, training, that has export potential, that gives new skills, that could increase your competitiveness on the global marketplace. And so you need to be mindful of that when you're creating your idea.
All right. And Mr. Rojas, I just wanted to tell me a little bit about what's been going on. What are some of the other projects you guys are working on? Because, you know, you are always coming out with something new, something fresh, something out of the box here in Tobago.
What we're doing, and it definitely connects with what we were mentioning before. We had a lot of drawings and prototypes sat there in files, be it soft or tangible. So we're bringing a lot of the project forward. We have now launched our first item with respect to our gym equipment. You're going to see a lot of our gym equipment out there. We're getting into definitely driving the furniture line forward. We had that project too much on the back burner for a couple of years, so it's now coming in to actual existence. We also need to develop our training facility, because for us in general to keep moving forward as a company, we need to develop employees that could be integrated into our company and feel comfortable expressing themselves creatively wise. I think there's a large warehouse, as you mentioned, of creative people on the island, but there's no place for them to vent, and it's very dangerous to have creative people and nowhere for them to express themselves. So we're going to give them a chance to vent, as it were, and express themselves creatively. We also want to engage with guys who are technologically advanced or technologically inclined, to incorporate them into the company as well, because by right we're supposed to have designers on a day-to-day basis just throwing out designs. All right, everything would not come into fruition. We would not bring everything forth, but at the end of the day, we need to stay fresh, especially when you get into the furniture line, because furniture has seasons, just like clothes. You'll have the summer edition, the winter edition. I'm just speaking just in normal, clothes jargon. And the same will be reflected for furniture, because at the end of the day, people like to keep their homes fresh. So we are now involved in a lot of research and development and prototype work. We are still engaged with the public doing the normal custom fabrication, and we are always there to offer our services to support whoever wants to engage with us and to bring their ideas, into reality. No problem with that. But at this stage, and COVID has taught us a lot, where you need to pivot and not only rely on the call of a customer for us to present our service. We need to drive our products forward, attach to our sales department, and keep engaging and keeping the customers interested in what we offer.
All right, great. And that's a wonderful point to end our interview on. And I just want to thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Rojas, for being here with us. And of course, best of luck in going forward in this IDB grant program. And, we hope that you guys come out on top. I mean, it's another win for Tobago. And
definitely.
That's definitely what we need to see to inspire more people like yourself to, help develop the island. Thank you.
I agree.
All right, so viewers, well, that's it for just this interview, but we have a lot more coming up for you after the break, so you don't want to go anywhere.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place, with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
The Street 919 FM and the Tobago Updates presents the Tobago Updates Morning Show live simulcast on the Street 919 FM. Start your day with all the information you want and need with the simulcast of the Tobago Updates Morning Show live Mondays to Fridays from 7 a.m. on the Street 919 FM, the official station that defends the nation.
Advertise with Tobago Updates. Call 284-6597. If you have a small or large business, we can get your information in front of the masses. Reach our rapidly growing viewership on Facebook and YouTube. Promote your brand in Trinidad and the Caribbean through M&E TV Now and Gayel. Yes, we can build unique ads for your business. Call now 284-6597 and advertise with us.
to Good Morning Tobago, and joining me on set is Mrs. Vernice Simon Frederick from the director, she's the director for the Tobago Extension Campus of the University of the Southern Caribbean. And of course, we're in the July-August vacation, and there's a lot of students out there that are considering their options, and there are some options available for you, especially home here in Tobago, and one of those is through the University of the Southern Caribbean. So a special good morning and welcome to you, Miss Vernice.
Thank you. Good morning. Thanks for having me. Good morning to all our viewers around the world.
Great. Now, first of all, for those people who are watching and they don't know or they haven't heard, for some reason they haven't heard, what is the University of the Southern Caribbean?
All right, so the University of the Southern Caribbean, fondly known as USC, is a Seventh-day Adventist-based institution. We've been around since 1927. So this year actually marks 95 years since we've been in existence. And we offer undergraduate degrees and graduate degrees to nationals and internationals as well.
All right. So now you guys have a Tobago Extension Campus.
Yes.
That's what you call it, right?
That's right, yes.
So tell me about what are some of the programs that are offered through this Tobago Extension Campus.
All right, so Tobago Extension Campus, of course, we established to allow Tobagonians the opportunity of having that tertiary level education without having to cross the waters. And so at the USC Tobago, you can actually do any of the general education courses because our programs follow the US model where you have general education classes and your core courses. So you can do the general eds for any of the degree programs that USC offers. But in Tobago, you can actually do from start to finish BBA Management, Primary Education, BS Psychology, BS Social Work, BS Behavioral Sciences. So those you can actually stay at home, don't have to go to Trinidad at all, and you can finish them. And some of our other business degrees as well, like accounting and finance, you can do most of them, probably just spending like a year in Trinidad.
All right. And I mean, so we also have the campus in Trinidad, of course,
yes.
a bit more than in
definitely,
Tobago.
yes.
So what are those programs and
All
how
right.
do they differ from what is offered in Tobago?
Right, so in Trinidad, of course, you have the full range of programs. So we have 5 schools. We have the School of Business. There you can do anything from, we have BBA Management, as I mentioned. They also have HR. They have Hospitality and Tourism Management. We have Finance. We have Accounting. We have Economics. So that's quite a lot there. Then we have the School of Education, where you can train to be a primary school teacher. You can do your DPED for secondary school teachers. You can do English or history. We also have our School of Science and Technology. That's where you do like the pre-med persons would go there, biology, computer science persons, put software systems persons and so on. They would do their programs there. Our nursing program, which is one of our biggest programs right now, that's also offered at our main campus. And of course, we also have the social sciences, social work, behavioral sciences, psychology, those who want to study the mind and help others. And of course, because we're Seventh-day Adventists, we must have the School of Theology and Religion. And persons, that's where we train our pastors, or even persons who may not want to be pastors, but you're interested in getting to know the Bible a bit more. You can do a degree in religion as well.
Right.
Yes.
And then there's some, you guys, even though you are a 7-day Adventist-based school, you are accredited. So I just wanted you to tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, we are fully accredited by ACTT, which simply means that our degree is recognized anywhere in the world. So our students can do, quite a few of our students actually do that. They start programs with us and they go abroad. We do offer some master's programs as well. I forgot to mention that before. So we have counseling psychology, we have occupational therapy as well. We have educational psychology, and we also have an MBA program that you can do online. But of course, because we are accredited, it means that anywhere you go, your degree is going to be recognized. You can get transfer credits to any institution, and we also take transfer credits from any accredited institution as well.
All right, and now as we're talking about education, cost comes up because, I mean, tuition is a concern. I mean, we've heard about the challenges that UE and the UTT and all these other places are facing. So what options do people have if they want to consider USC?
Right, so we also have the similar challenges that they do because, as you know, there was some changes in the GATE requirements and what happens with GATE. So before now, everybody used to get sponsored for GATE. Now you have to do means testing, and it's based on your family household income. They've also cut out the funding for the master's program. So we still have our fully GATE funded programs at the undergraduate level. So most of the degrees there are fully funded. Some of our newer programs that would have come on after like about 2015 or 2010, like music and nutrition and dietetics, those aren't gate funded. But of course, anything that's not gate funded, we give you a payment plan. So very often the payment plan goes, of course, the ideal thing is you pay everything up front. If you can't, you can pay 50%, or you can pay even a little less than 50%, and you actually make monthly installments throughout the school year. So we are quite flexible with our payment plans.
All right, great. And now, why should students consider going to USC? What is so special about going to USC, even if they are not a Seventh-day Adventist person?
Well, of course, we pride ourselves on giving you that holistic education experience. We pride ourselves on having cultural diversity. One of the things that we are known for is having persons from all over the world. Well, it was CUC in my time, it's USC now. I'm a graduate from there, and I can safely say I currently have friends in every island of the Caribbean. I was able to meet people from Ethiopia, from Pakistan, from Africa. So it's really a cultural diversity. Of course, most of the diversity is at our main campus, but in Tobago we also take international students in Tobago as well. And so we have that. We have the benefit of having those small classes where teachers actually know you. So we have that friendly touch, that human touch. So our students get that personal touch from our lecturers. If I actually miss you, if I don't see you in class today, I would call you and find out what's happening. Why aren't I seeing you? That sort of stuff. And of course, because we have the Christian touch, you do get that difference, and you do get that spiritual nurture that you're going to get because we are the Christian institution. So we do have those weekly motivational sessions with our students that get them all boosted up for the week. Every Monday we have that. So we have that at our main campus and at the Tobago campus as well. And of course, these are just the things that make us unique. And of course, once you come to meet us, our students will tell you we are fun-loving people, we are caring people. I think that's what they love most about us.
Certainly. And of course, that also speaks to a community spirit.
Yes, definitely.
That is different.
Yes. Definitely. I mean, just this year we had a case where normally in Tobago we have our own Tobago Thanksgiving after graduation for our students, and this year our 2022 students, they had their program, and without even us telling them anything, they decided that they would invite those from 2020 and 2021 as well, because they did not have a graduation, because everything was virtual. And it was, to me, it was just such a touching thing for them to do. I mean, this is my moment to shine. And they, because again, we're so closely knit, they were willing to, invite the others and share their spotlight with them. Let me just also at this time take the point to hail out, big up, salute one of our graduates, Miss Yulani Fletcher. She's one of the candidates for Miss Universe Trinidad and Tobago. We're quite proud of her. Classic example of beauty and brains. Yes, well. Definitely. Oh, and we have the picture.
Oh,
wonderful. Yes. Look at that. That's the next Miss Wendy right there.
Yeah, certainly. So, yeah. I mean, I'm looking. You also mentioned that USC, as we know, it's University of the Southern Caribbean, which means that there are campuses on the other islands, right? And I forgot to touch on that earlier on. But, I mean, tell me about the programs that are offered in the various islands.
Okay, so similar to what we have in Tobago, there are 5 other extension campuses. So Tobago was the first, of course, we're the best. And then there are the other extension campuses. We have in Guyana, we have in Barbados, we have in St. Lucia, we have in Antigua, and we also have an extension campus in South Trinidad. So persons don't necessarily have to go all the way up to Maracas, St. Joseph for classes in Trinidad. And similar to what we do in Tobago, they allow you the opportunity of doing general eds for any degree program, and then you simply transfer over to main campus, or you can do specialized degrees in different areas. So for example, in Antigua, they do special ed and some other things that, they specialize in education there. In Barbados, they do more of the health program, so you have nutrition and dietetics there. Guyana, they do social work and so on. So every campus kind of has their little niche, but again, you could do a little bit of everything. In St. Lucia, you could do computing and social work as well. So we kind of, same idea, same concept, same family idea that we're having. And of course, the idea is that because as a Seventh-day Adventist church, we are international. So we do have Adventist presence in all of these islands, so it's easy for us to do that. And I would have mentioned Southern Caribbean. We do have a Northern Caribbean University as well. That's in Jamaica. And they do something similar to what we're doing as well.
Okay, great. So if someone decides that, hey, I want to, have a taste of the education at USC in different islands, can they do that?
You actually can campus hop.
Yes. Like that.
And we actually, well, just us as extension campuses, we normally plan stuff together. So we are actually promoting that among our students. You can decide you want to do a semester in Guyana, because at the end of the day, the curriculum is essentially the same. So of course, if you're doing a general education classes, you can't decide, okay, I'm doing general eds, I can do general eds anywhere. I want to do my general eds in Antigua this semester. You can't do that. It's a simple process. You go to a university's website, fill out the campus transfer form, very simple. Within a week or 2, you're authorized, you can go. It's that simple. Right? Of course, the fees differ from campus to campus because of what is available there. So main campus would, of course, their fee will be the highest because they have everything. But at the extension campuses, the fees are a little lower. So some persons do take that option of doing that.
And tell me about the value, though, of, you know, just integrating with other students from around the Caribbean and just being exposed to the different cultures and different people.
That, trust me, that, and I can, again, speaking from my own experience, I learned so much about the Caribbean, about the world, I should say. But during the 5 years I spent at CUC, and again our students get that. Even within the last 2 years, because for the last 2 years we were doing virtual classes. So we actually had students from all campuses coming together via Zoom to do classes or doing classes online. And it was so exciting for us when we met on campus this year, because this year we had our first face-to-face graduation since COVID. And we met on campus and we actually had a cocktail just for the Extension campus students. And I remember when they were coming in, you were, of course, you had to introduce yourself to each other. And students were coming in and they were hailing out each other. And us, the directors, were wondering, do you know this person? Where you know this person from? Oh, yes, we're in so-and-so class together. Yeah, we were in the social work class together. So you do get that kind of, you do get that connection. You do get that exposure. Of course, at our main campus, they make a whole big thing out of it. They have an International Students Week. So that comes up in September, where every culture shows you a bit of what they do. They show you their food, their different dances, their costumes. So you do get that real rich cultural experience. Of course, you get most of it at the main campus, but we get bits and pieces of it as well here in Tobago.
All right. So, of course, Sophia, people are watching, and I'm pretty sure by now they're hooked.
Yes.
Especially
yes,
on that idea of that island hopping, campus hopping idea. Yes. So, how did they get in contact with you to be a part of USC?
Right. So, very simple. The easiest way is to come to the office, yes. We are located in Rockley Vale. Everyone knows where Harmon is. So going down Harmon Hill, that first building you're going to see, green and white building, that's us. So you can come to us at Rockley Vale. If you can't come in person, you can call us. Our number, 612-4USC, easy to remember, 612-4USC. In Tobago, we are extensions 2300, 2301 or 2304. Any of those extensions would be Tobago campus. Of course, if you get another campus, they will transfer you to us and you can get information from any of them. We also have a university's website, which is usc.edu.tt. You can go there, and once you go to the university's website, there's actually a link there for you to apply now. That as soon as you enter, there's an apply now link. You click on that, you can put your information in. Let me just say, it's very easy to get into USC. You need 5 O-level passes, no A-levels, nothing else. 5 O-level passes, basic entry requirements. If you don't have your 5 O-level passes, we are still willing to work with you.
Yes, and you guys work with mature
Yes, we do.
students
So
as well.
persons over 30, if you have 3 O-level passes, you can come in based on what we call mature age entry, and we would give you something to make up for the lacking to CSEC passes that you have. If you are still under 21, we normally encourage you, please go and do your CSEC. You don't know where life is going to take you, so we encourage them to go back and get your subjects. Over 21, we would help you as well, making up for the lacking CSEC passes. So we do that. Most times in Tobago here, we would point you to Harmon, our sister school. They have a lovely evening school program. So if you're missing subjects, you can go spend a year, get your subjects there. Of course, but you can also come to us. Of course, you have to pay for the prerequisite classes because GATE doesn't cover prerequisites. All right, but you can do that, spend a year getting your prerequisites, and then you can actually start your degree program with us. It really is that simple. Yes.
And then tell me a little bit about what options do you have for mature students in terms of, let's say, someone who's already in the field. Do you guys facilitate like a transfer or, you know, is there any
What we do is for persons who already have, I know a lot of persons in Tobago, because we didn't really have bachelor level education in Tobago for quite some time. A lot of persons have certificate program, certificates, associate degrees and so on. We do take transfer credits from you for that. All right. I know in terms of your work experience, that only kind of counts towards your internship. So most degree programs have an internship component. If you're doing business, you must do an internship, and so we take your years of experience into consideration for that. And of course, our classes are ideally situated in the evening time, so that you can actually still go to work and come to classes. So our first class week is at 4:30 in the evening, and we go until 8:35 in the night. So you as a working person can still have the opportunity of going to work, coming to school, and getting your upgrade as you may need to do. And in fact, quite a lot of persons, when we first began, the bulk of our students were mature students. Persons who are juggling work and school, and of course most of them are out now. We now have those newer, fresh from high school students now. But of course we're able to make the adjustments accordingly. Yeah.
All right, and then tell me about, you know, just integrating themselves, especially for the mature students. Like, how do you guys assist them integrating themselves into just school life and
well, one of the very first classes everyone has to do is College Success. Success and Career Planning. That's your very first semester class. So within that very first semester, we work with you. And of course, I can say I must give kudos to my office staff, Ms. Rennie Christopher and Ms. Cindy Lord. They are very accommodating, very helpful. We actually help. Actually, just yesterday, I was helping one of our material students get her registration done. Because, of course, everything is online now. So we do allow students to have that experience of getting the assistance from us. And we encourage you. So, I mean, just experience life that way. So we are there to assist in any way. And that success class really kind of preps you. So we have modules that deal with persons who are first generation university students. You're the first one in your family ever to go to university. We have seminars on that. And we actually do have seminars that we have throughout the semester to assist them in that regard. We have, for example, the older person, the mature person, having to balance work, home life, your wife, your mother. We do also have seminars for that. So we kind of help you along the way to make your way through successfully at USC.
All right, folks. Well, I mean, there you have it. You have all that information there. I mean,
quite a lot.
I mean, you're going to have a different community experience there.
Definitely.
And, I mean, Ms. Bernice, sorry, she spoke to that support,
Yes,
which is very important. That support, whether you are a student that's just starting off, you're young, still just probably early 20s, still in your teens perhaps. But then, I mean, for the mature students especially, there is that facility there to get you integrated into school life. And of course, now we know that, you know, qualifications are very important. You can have all the experience in the world,
but you must have the paper to match what it is. You must have the paper to meet the people.
That's just the way of the world. Love it or hate it, it's the way of the world right now. So, I mean, thank you so much for being on set with us. And just quickly before we go, just how to get in contact.
All right, so again, we are located at Rockleyville. That's going down Hammond Hill. You can also call us 612-4872. That's for USC. Extension 2300, 2301 or 2304, and I forgot to give my WhatsApp number. You can WhatsApp us because lots of people like to message, right? We do have WhatsApp groups for student support groups as well. 471-7302. That's 471-7302. You can WhatsApp messages can come at any time. Of course, I'll only respond to them in the daytime, but you can send your message at any time whenever the question pops up in your mind. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks a lot for having me.
All right, thank you again for being with us. And viewers, well, we have a lot more coming up for you after the break, so please don't go anywhere.
There's a taste in the air everywhere. Feel the vibe cause it's something to share. Smooth, rich and creamy, you'll find it right here. Makes you smile, relax a while, it's fun and good cheer. Ooh, enjoy every scoop. Every taste will get you hooked. We have flavors that you love, a combination special. Come along, enjoy our treats. This is Uncle Pete's. They're the ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we're stronger. Good morning, Tobago.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago. And now for our next segment, we are going to be talking with Mr. Ethnine Charles and Mr. Nicholas Huggins. And I don't know if you guys saw a couple weeks ago, or must have been a week or two ago, Google on, you know, the homepage, the search engine page for Google, it was a little something for Trinidad and Tobago in terms of pan, and there was this nice little animation, a Google Doodle animation, and just paying homage to pan. And the people behind that is Mr. Ethnine Charles, and of course he's a jazz musician, so he did the music for it. And then we have Mr. Nicholas Huggins, who was the video illustrator, the man behind the animation. So a special good morning and welcome to you guys.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having us.
All right, great. Well, now I'm going to get started with Mr. Huggins. And I just want you to give me an idea about, you know, just, first of all, being selected to do the Google Doodle. What was that like? And how did you get selected?
Yeah, it was a pretty amazing experience. In 2020, one of the art directors from Google Doodle reached out to me over Instagram, and she basically introduced herself and got in touch and kind of gave me an idea of what the project was going to be. And I mean, it was a really kind of surreal experience. I actually asked her last week, like, why was I selected? And she said that she actually just came across my work on in some of the web searches. So I've been kind of doing illustrations and sharing my illustrations online for the last 9 or 10 years. So I really see this as basically all that work that I've been doing over the last decade really kind of paying off in the fact that she was able to find my work online and selected me in the end to do this amazing illustration.
And tell me about that, finding out about the theme that they wanted to do, and which of course celebrating steel pan. And where did you draw your inspiration from for this illustration?
Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of the inspiration, there's a really good book on pan that I have at home, and it really dives into the history of the steel pan and where it comes from. And I think my main inspiration was definitely where this instrument originated from, who were the people who created this instrument, what caused the creation of this instrument. And these were all things that we wanted to speak to in the animation, because it really is part of our legacy as Trinbagonians, you know. So that's something that I wanted to touch on in the story. It was really just kind of focusing on our history and the fact that we as a people created this incredible instrument.
And you, for the music, of course, you got Mr. Ednine Charles. I mean, and Mr. Charles, I want you to tell me about being involved in this project and, you know, coming up with the music. I mean, you're a music man. I mean, you produce some of the best music, I think, in Trinidad and Tobago. But, I mean, just tell me about that process. I think your audio is off. I'm not sure if you're mute. Oh, there we go. We're hearing you now.
Yeah, it was an incredible experience. First off, thank you for having us. And yeah, to come up with the music, it was interesting because it was a collaborative effort between myself and Bugsy Sharp. They definitely wanted to make sure and include both of us. And yeah, the music came very easily simply because I grew up playing pan. I grew up in a pan yard. So once I saw the illustrations and I saw the initial animation idea, the music kind of wrote itself. Actually, the first musical idea you hear came from Bugsy Sharp, and then I added the bridge and added the harmony to everything. And we did it across the water because Bugsy lives in Trinidad and I live in the United States, and I'm constantly traveling all around. So we actually just kept WhatsApping musical ideas back and forth. And then once we had the idea, once I had the idea that I was going to use, then I took that, orchestrated it, made music files, and I also wanted to make sure to record with real pans. So there's no synthesizers that you're hearing. There's no MIDI. There's no sequence sounds. It's all real pan. And so there were great pan players: Josanne Francis, Luke Walker, who record, and Jonathan Gomez, who recorded Jonathan Castro, who recorded most of the pans. So everything was real and acoustic, which I think helped with Nicholas's illustration style, which is a very kind of rootsy, natural illustration style.
And how did you get involved in the project? Was it did Mr. Huggins reach out to you, or did the Google team reach out to you?
I'm guessing it was Nicholas's recommendation, because Google reached out. Angelica, she reached out, and yeah, so I think Nicholas recommended me for it. So thank you, Nick.
And tell me about that moment when they reach out to you and be like, "Hey, can you do music for this Google Doodle?"
I mean, when they first reached out, the initial feeling was, well, one, I'm not really familiar. I was not really familiar with what a Google Doodle really was, and so they had to explain that to me from, So once I said, okay, so they said, a lot of people will see this, and I said, but for me, those things didn't really make a difference, because for me, the goal was to really properly represent our culture in Trinidad and Tobago, and what I see as probably, besides our people, I see the steel pan as our second greatest export. I think the Trinbagonian people are the greatest exporter to Trinidad and Tobago, and as a result, I wanted to showcase how the steel pan is a product of people, and it's a product of lots of people, and the evolution of it is as a result of people needing more and wanting more ways to express. And so when it started out as a small iron band, and eventually having fully chromatic instruments and full 120, 150 piece orchestras, that movement that happened over, I want to say, 40, 50 years is a result of us as a people. And that's really what, from the musical perspective, I wanted to represent.
And Mr. Huggins, now millions of people around the world got to see this Google Doodle. What are some of the reactions that you've gotten from the international community about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's been really, really great. I've had people in Asia reaching out, people in Europe reaching out. There are a few people who were part of the Trinbagonian diaspora who live abroad, and they messaged to say it was insane waking up, going on Google.com and seeing our culture represented. So I think it spoke to a lot of people, both pan lovers and people from Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, it's really been overwhelming over the last couple of weeks, the kind of reaction that we've gotten from really everyone who's been able to see it,
I mean, this is remarkable, but you were sitting on this idea for at least 2 years. You couldn't say anything about it, right? So, I mean, what was it like to be holding on to this for 2 whole years and then just all of a sudden, because we had no warning, we just, like you said, people woke up one morning and you went on Google as normal, to do your regular searches or whatever the case may be, and there it was. So tell me about that, having to keep this under wraps for 2 years.
Yeah, it's really funny. I told my wife the night before, I was like, it feels like Christmas Eve. I feel like tomorrow there's going to be like such a big thing happening that no one really knows about it. I mean, it was a really surreal experience, knowing and having a kind of idea of how many people were going to see this, and the fact that, like, similar to this, like the amount of press that has reached out to the entire team that worked on it, the amount of new opportunities that will come our way due to the fact that Google has this really global reach. So it's not something personally that I take for granted. And yeah, I mean, it's been a really amazing experience, to kind of give the people of Trinidad and Tobago this sense of pride in seeing their culture represented on the world stage is always a great thing. I mean, it'll probably be kind of a percentage of how, like, athletes feel representing their country. It's I guess a way for me as an illustrator and an artist to represent my country in a certain way.
And this whole experience speaks to the fact of you don't know who is watching you, especially who is watching you on the international scale, which is why you should always be working on your craft and be giving off your best. And then I want the two of you actually just to speak on that point. And we're going to start with Mr. Charles first about just not knowing who is watching you and the reason why you should always give your best.
That's a great point. I think we're always age, and we're always putting our best foot forward. As artists, we never know who's watching, like you say. And all we could do is put our best work out there and understand that it's to lift people. Everything that we do as artists is always to lift people, to empower people, to give people new information through beauty that they can then take and use however they would like, or so many people told me that they use the doodle in their classroom, just to demonstrate. In 70 seconds they were able to have a really simple way of demonstrating the part of the evolution of the steel pan, and showing it coming from the hills of Lamatil and eventually ending up all over the world, Japan, Africa, Europe, etc. And so that's why we always do, and that's why we use things like social media as a platform to give out little bits of samples, little bits of ideas of what we're coming with, so that, because we know that people are scouring what we do for the next ideas for what they might be having coming down the pipeline. That's a great question. Well, thank you for that.
Thank you. Mr. Huggins, your perspective on the fact that you never know who's watching.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, in this day and age with so much access to social media, access to the internet, there is really so much available to you as a person, if you're an artist, if you're a creative person, to really put your work out there and have the potential to be seen by anyone, and it may be it just comes across a random person's feed and they then recommend you to someone else, and it's a real kind of butterfly effect, and you just don't know who's seeing your work and who they may know to recommend your work to. So as Etienne said, you really need to kind of put your best foot out there, keep on creating, keep on sharing your work, because at the end of the day, who knows what could really come out of all of this,
Yeah, Google could be knocking at your door. All right, guys, I want to say a massive congratulations to you, and thank you so much for being on the Tobago Updates morning program. It was such a pleasure speaking to you guys this morning.
Thank you very much for having us.
Have a good day.
Great. All right. Well, viewers, we're getting ready to wrap the program. But before we wrap the program, I just want to share some information. This is in regards to the Scarborough market. Now, they released a statement that the market will be open from 10 a.m. today. So that again, the Scarborough market will be open from 10 a.m. today. That is following a few weeks of intense cleaning and sanitization. So workers, market vendors should be back out in the market today. So if you're willing, if you're needing to go in for your market goods, well, from 10 a.m. you can. All right, folks, well, that's how we're going to end our program this morning. It was a pleasure being with you all, speaking with you all, and thank you so much for being a part of Good Morning Tobago. Hope you guys have a wonderful, safe, and productive day, and we'll see you again tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.
Wake up with Candace and Denise.
Let's go. It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and